see it's getting darker and darker, and there's just no way right now for these drivers to know exactly what's going to happen.
These guys are going to have to be really, really careful and tiptoe around the track until it's either stopped.
And not even 10 minutes into this race, and I feel like we've got enough strategy going on for a whole event, but still a long, long way to go.
There's Yellowstone, there's Yosemite, but for racing fans and for GridLife's Elkhart Classic, the destination is Road America, the National Park of Speed.
Free ride in the front of the field here. Look at Emil Tab up the inside for the race lead. We head down to the first corner.
And these guys have no idea what they're coming into. Look at this field. They're 2 wide, 3 wide, a couple places slipping.
Side by side for the race lead, 54, 48 through 3 and 4, working lap number 60, 110 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali, power move to the bottom of the racetrack, making the short way work. They're going to touch down the hill.
This will be a great run for 4 here.
Yeah, typically we'll ran off the track in the final quarter of that lap 4 to get a massive.
Here he comes.
Does he have a look?
Oh, big block here by Sanfilippo into the grass goes Ben Fuller toward turn 1, and Sanfilippo hangs on, he's loose. No! And he crashes hard in the exit of turn number 2. Don't try him here, boys. They're going to do it. Gritsko backs out. They touch. They're going to crash. Gritsko going to slam the attenuator hard into the wall, and Jared Testa hits him as well. And big damage on these cars. That's a huge.
Number 4, people are struggling for grip, going out of every single lane, trying to then run. It's getting really insane.
Powered by AWS for the Intercontinental GT Challenge, powered by Pirelli. And the Indianapolis 8-hour. We are 7 hours and 18 minutes into this 8-hour event.
John Miller way deep on the brakes to the inside of turn number 1 and 2. The spin, the 3 car gets turned around in front of Cobb.
James Howden looking for a place to go, but he's got Austin Cobb to the inside. Bit of a gap behind. I think that's about 15th or 16th spot as they come out of turn 3. Big slide for them.
Getting a run. He's got it. Going to be a drag racing line. Final corner. Checkered flag waving. Here they come. At Virginia National Raceway. To the line. Thompson, Darling, door to door, banging doors, fender to fender. I can't believe what we just saw. GridLife's Midwestern roots take drivers both physically and virtually to some of the best grassroots tracks in North America, as well as some of the premier courses like Road America and Mid-Ohio. Tonight, GridLife iRacers prepare for the real-world GridLife Midsummer Meet, which takes place next week, August 6th through 8th, 2021, where Time Attack and GridLife Touring Cup will take to the track for the 7th competition round this year. This is GridLife iRacers coming to you from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with GT4 cars for 10-minute races. I'm Kyle Heyer, joining you tonight all by myself tonight. Just decided to stream this one for fun. Got 2 races coming up in the short term, 4 in total tonight. First up, GT4 for 10 minutes. We'll invert the field. Put 5 of the drivers into an invert. We'll go again for another 10 minutes of a short break before our GT3 competition towards the end of the night. Here we are at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, one of the premier road courses in North America, 2.26 miles around this 13-turn circuit. Have a look at the track map. Takes you down the front straightaway here, up a slight hill through the fast left-hander. That's going to be probably 3rd to 4th gear in a GT4 car. Then carry yourself up the hill towards turn number 2, the keyhole, one of the defining characteristics of this 2.26-mile racetrack. Swing it around the corner, then power down a 2,900-foot-long straightaway with a kink in the middle into the famous braking zone at turn number 4. At the exit of that, China Beach, a big gravel trap that'll catch you if you run wide. Turn 5, left-hander over the crest, then down through 6 and 7, and then cresting turn number 9, you're going to head down through Thunder Valley and head to the backside of the racetrack, turns 11, 12, and then, of course, the carousel to finish off the lap before you kink left back through turn 13 to finish up a lap here at Mid-Ohio. Qualifying on the racetrack right now as we get into it. There is just about 20 drivers here for this one, so excited to be with you again for the first time in a while here for the GridLife iRacing Series, unofficial tonight, just here for fun, as am I. There's Jackson Robillard, the number 98. Redenzo sponsored cars. He works his way through the racetrack, down the back straightaway towards the carousel. It is single car qualifying this time around, so no need to deal with any sort of traffic in the short term. Murphy Nichols is here in the brand new McLaren 570S GT4, the mid-engine sports car. That is probably the closest car you're going to find here to a road car tonight. So Murphy Nichols will be piloting the number 05. At least on the timing and scoring, number 13 based off the number board. Ryan Kristoff is back with us. He'll be racing next week at GridLife's Midsummer Meet in GridLife Touring Cup and his Honda CRX. Tonight it's a Bmw M4, his machine of choice. Drew Cleaver typically runs in a Tesla Model S in Time Attack. Tonight though, same choice as Kristoff, Bmw M4 for him as well. Some other names from Time Attack. Alex Arteat, he typically drives a BMW. Here he is in the same machinery tonight. And looking for drivers in the Porsche. Is it going to be DJ Alessandrini going to be the one to take on the Porsche tonight? We haven't gotten a good look at where he's going to be starting, but there is Brian Heitkotter, recent winner from Alpine Horizon and GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, and his Nissan 370Z Nismo from Chris Scoresby Racing. He is running the number 22 Porsche tonight and on a qualifying hot lap at the moment. Thanks again for joining me tonight. Again, my name is Kyle Heyer, joining you all by myself. Typically I have Vinny DeCuna, Tom O'Gorman alongside me, but neither of them were here tonight. So just me this time around. Have a quick look at our weather information as well. Air temp 79, track temp 100. Mixed racetrack a little bit slippery. You saw Heitkotter go for a moment there, gathered it back up before he will come around to complete his qualifying lap. Well, glad to be with you, and now the times are coming in. Austin Cobb in the number 36 goes to the top of the board. Can Heitkotter go quicker? He cannot. He will slot himself in 9th place. Cobb, though, on provisional pole. Matt Waldbaum in second. Jackson Robillard goes third quick with a 1:29.03. That was a very solid lap for the blue, teal, and white Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. DJ Alessandrini out of track, another Cayman taker. In the past, this car has been a favorite of many due to its handling characteristics. The mid-engine platform providing a lot of stability, but it just seems to be the most nimble in the nose, where the Mclaren and the BMW can be a little bit more archaic feeling around a racetrack, but DJ is probably not going to get enough time to complete a lap around here. So the race format for tonight, 2 races back-to-back, 10 minutes each, with a 5-driver invert from the end of race 1 to the beginning of race number 2. And Josh Holka joining us tonight. Typically runs a Subaru WRX STI hatch in time attack. And here he is in the number 20, a Porsche for him. No Subarus in GT4, unfortunately. So he will head up towards the carousel and finish off his qualifying lap, and he looks like he just might make it to the checkers as the checkers falls. A 1:33.115. That will put him up just outside of the top 15. Qualifying complete. Time to head down to the racetrack now and get started for our 10-minute race. And we're going to get 2 minutes to grid before we turn them all loose. Your starting lineup is going to be on the left-hand side of the screen. And there it is. Austin Cobb, Murphy Nichols on that front row. Matt Waldbaum, Jackson Robillard in the second row. Then it's Darian Taggart in row number 3 alongside Tony Chow, Alex Ho, Ryan Christoph. Then it's David Santel, Drew Cleaver, Brian Heitkotter rounding out the rest of your top 6. Peter Zhang, 13th and 14th alongside Jarrett Allman in the number 17 car. Ryan Carwile, Joseph Dale in row number 8. DJ Alessandrini starts deep in the field, 17th to be exact, alongside Stephen Cugliari in the number 9. Alex Artea, Jeff Underwood back in row number 10. Then Duncan James, Josh Holka, and Eric Anderson wrap up the rest of the 23-car field. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, again, 2.26 miles in Lexington, Ohio. And it is a beautiful day for virtual racing. One last look at our weather before we turn everybody loose. Track temp still climbing, and you'll see a good distribution of the different cars, at least at the front. You see a couple BMWs just peeking in the background, but mostly Porsches out near the nose. And a great qualifying effort by Murphy Nichols in the number 05. So he is going to start alongside Austin Cobb in that number 36. Let's look at the starting lineup. Had it on the wrong scene here. Been a little while since I've been back in the booth here, at least controlling things and pressing the buttons. There's a good look at your 23 driver field. And a good mixture of BMW, Porsche, and McLaren machinery. I only see one McLaren, actually. Speaking of, I think there might be, no, it literally just is Murphy Nichols. He's the only driver in the McLaren, and he qualified up in second, so congratulations to Murphy. We are about to get rolling on our very short pace lap. We're going to turn them loose again. It is a 10-minute race, approximately 7 laps. Then we will invert the top 5, set them back up, and turn them loose again. It'll be a short intermission before we get into the GT4 race a little bit later, or GT3 race, I should say, a little bit later tonight. Quick notes about Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, again located in Lexington, Ohio. Population just about 5,000 people. Constructed and opened in 1962. Of course, the track surface here notoriously slick during rainy or wet conditions. None of that in the forecast today, fortunately, as Austin Cobb rolls through on driver's left in the Apex V2R Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. Time to go racing from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. GRIDLIFE iRacers GT4 action is green. Through the first corner, everybody tiptoeing so far. A little bit of side-by-side. Deeper, that's Alex Ho in the number 84. Now off towards the keyhole. Cars off in the background. Lots of trouble. Ryan Carwile, one of them. Looks like Joseph Dale is the other, so big dramas there in the opening moments for those two drivers. Joshua Halka also crashed and turned around. And Drew Cleaver has found his way off the course as well. But up front, it's Austin Cobb leading the charge down towards China Beach for the first time. And with some dramas out of the way early, the number 36 dives on the binders for turns 4 and 5. Well, a little bit of side-by-side deeper in the field. That's Jarrett Allman in the number 17 who's chasing this battle. It's the 22 car of Brian Heitkotter on the inside. I mentioned he has just come off of winning a GRIDLIFE Touring Cup round at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Big slide for Allman. Maybe there was a touch. He spins at the top of the hill. That's a blind spot. Could be really challenging for him to get that car back on course safely. But we will stay green for now. Pulls back across the racetrack and will continue 3 wide as a couple drivers come sliding on through. Eric Anderson, one of them. And the battle for second, heating up here. There is Murphy Nichols with Matt Waldbaum right behind him. Number 13 car in the Porsche. Murphy Nichols choosing the McLaren this time through. Lap 1 complete. Love riding on board. The McLaren over the right shoulder of Murphy Nichols. Just got his real-world driver's license the other day, so congratulations to Murphy. Unlocked that freedom. And into the keyhole. Now, Austin Cobb was significantly quicker last time by, but the battle, I think, is going to be for second. Jackson Robillard entering the picture now. 2 Porsches flanking the McLaren as they head down the back straightaways. Watch the speeds climb on the right-hand side of your screen. 135 plus miles an hour, probably close to 150 before they're going to dive on the brakes. 147 is the quickest I saw. Side by side behind them, a couple Porsches going at it. Darian Taggart in the number 16. Tony Chow goes through in the number 68. Chow started this race in 6th, gains a spot to P5. Waldbaum was putting the pressure on Murphy Nichols, now has a mirror full of the 98 of Jackson Robillard on board with the 98. Well, Nichols runs a little bit wide. You can see the dirt flying up here. Matt Waldbaum sees the door open. He's going to try to get the nose to the inside, but not really a good place to do so. Just trying to put Nichols offline just enough to get a run up the inside, but 2 laps into this race, Murphy Nichols cannot be phased out of second place. Whoa, Robillard runs way out to the edge of the racetrack, dips some tires off in the dirt with the tires loaded up on the right side. That is going to be a pretty scary moment. More cars off the background. David Santel, the Dirtfish Rally car, goes for a moment. That car with that livery is certainly on point. Alex Ho goes for a spin in the background at the exit of turn 1. My focus shifting next to the battle for 8th. That's Brian Heitkotter and DJ Alessandrini. Now these guys have had a chance to compete against each other in GLTC back at GRIDLIFE Spring Kickoff at Gingerman Raceway about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And it was, I believe it was Alessandrini that ended up placing higher in the points than, I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'd have to go back and look. But Heitkotter had a pretty tough round strategically, and DJ Alessandrini was trying out a different tire compound, was trying out the Goodyear slick compared to the Hoosier R7 that the majority of the field runs in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. But now the battle is taken to the virtual world. Heitkotter, the 2011 GT Academy champion. Alessandrini comes from a almost what you could consider historic background here in iRacing, and has since gone off to find success, including a race win in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Trouble for Alex Artea in the number 77. He's looped his car around backwards. We'll focus again back up towards Heitkotter and Alessandrini as they run nose to tail. Fully in the slipstream now. Looks out to driver's right on the run down to the keyhole and tucks back in line. I think the opportunity comes in turn 4. Alessandrini runs wide, tuck in tight at the exit of the corner and get this spectacular run onto the backstretch. And this is a perfect setup. Heitkotter is not going to defend. He's going to stay hard driver's left. And That battle will fizzle quite quickly as Alessandrini moves up to 8th. And into position decidedly easily. And back up to 2nd place. Matt Waldbaum has shuffled his way through Murphy Nichols. Murphy back to 3rd. Jackson Robillard now on the attack. Robillard started this race in 4th. That is where he runs at the moment. Onto the brakes for the carousel once more. Pretty tricky corner to set up to get a run here. And you probably see more often what happened with Alessandrini, where he set up for the back straightaway, but now Jackson has a pretty decent run, just not enough to get up alongside. As there's trouble in the final corner, Aldo Flores in the number 3 has gone around for a loop. Let's quickly see how he got himself in that situation. Tracks out, our car was already unstable, just snaps it. Oh, that's a big hit into the tire wall. Trouble for Alessandrini. He's found himself turned around backwards. Now, is this a rare mistake from Alessandrini? Oh man, no, it was not. Car looped right in front of him, and he had nowhere to go. It was Darian Taggart that was crashed at the exit of turn number 1. He just jumps the curb a little bit too much, destabilizes the car, loops it around, and then Alessandrini unsighted through the smoke, nowhere to go, clobbers Taggart. They're both going to have to start from the rear again. The invert is only 5 drivers deep. That is not good news for those 2 drivers. Meanwhile, out front, it's Austin Cobb, who is having a pretty easy race at the moment. There's Josh Halka spun at the top of the hill. Bad spot, can't really see the traffic coming, so he's going to have to sit there. It has been a challenge, to say the least. Seen a handful of drivers get them. Oh man, that was almost a crash there too. I think that was Tony Chow. Nope, that was is that Heitkotter coming up over the crest in the number 22. Speaking of Heitkotter, how about up 5 spots from a starting position of 12th? Not a bad day's work. And the driver in the transfer spot to start on pole is Tony Chow, who's approaching the battle for 2nd fairly quickly as we hit 2 laps to go. Murphy Nichols defensive on Jackson and Robillard. Robillard's going to set it up for the over-under. But Nichols gets the power down very, very well. Tracks all the way out to the yellow curb. Drops the tire off in the dirt. Now down the back straightaway, nose to tail. Mclaren versus Porsche. It's the Brits versus the Germans. Into the braking zone, braking at the 200 marker for Nichols. He's in too deep. Here comes Jackson Robillard to the inside. Huge slide for the Porsche, unable to complete that pass. He's going to over-under him again at the crest of turn 5. No. Could not keep the grip in the rear tires. Nichols again overshoots just a touch. Robillard backs down for now. Tony Chow is approaching very quickly from behind, up and over the crest. Full opposite lock for a moment, gathered it back up. And now continues to chase the 2 in front of him, battling for 3rd spot. No challenge for the race lead at the moment. All for 3rd place. Robillard gets power down a lot better that time, but this is such a challenging area of the track to do better than somebody else. You're sort of stuck in line as we hit the white flag lap. Final time around Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Cobb out front by almost 5 seconds. But Murphy Nichols and Robillard only separated by tenths as they come out of the corner. Robillard punts a cone, and now it's a drag race to the keyhole. A little bit wider entry for both of them. Robillard cuts in tight, back on power. Can he get the nose pointed? He cannot. Loses some ground on corner exit. Nichols has been nailing that keyhole. And he overshot turn 4 last time. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. Braking zone, turn 4. A little bit wide, but well executed for Nichols, just enough to keep Robillard behind. The good passing zones are gone. Robillard will have to force this in the last sector of the racetrack. He is right there, carrying better mid-corner speed than the 0.5, but unable to get by him. Dab on the brakes. Out front, Austin Cobb made this one look easy. Through the carousel, he will go in the Apex V2R Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. He will start 5th in the second race of the day. Checkered flag waves, and Austin Cobb is your winner of the GRIDLIFE iRacers GT4 battle. Here comes Matt Waldbaum for 2nd. Nichols and Robillard very tightly in formation, 3rd and 4th. Tony Chow, 5th place. He'll be your pole sitter for race 2. There's Ryan Christoph in the 46, Ryan Heitkotter in the 22 and 7th, and Jeff Underwood, Peter Zhang, Dave Santel, who recovers from his big off. No, he doesn't. He crashes in the final corners. Santel was running very, very well, and now he's backed it into the tire wall. Let's see how this happened. Just got the car sideways, maybe running the car a little bit too loose. And ended up off course. He's going to tumble down the order in the final moments and end up probably 12th or 13th. It's race 1 complete, and it's Cobb, Waldbaum, Nichols, Robillard, and Chow, your top 5. They're going to reverse order for the second race here in just a couple of minutes. Here's a brief look at your race results. Notice that DJ Alessandrini did not have the finish he was looking for, 18th place. He started 17th in this one. He'll get the start from the tail from race 2 as well. So checkered flag on the first race means a green on the second race. We're going to gear up and get ready. Tony Chow again on pole. Your starting lineup going to be on the left-hand side of the screen as before. Tony Chow, Robillard, Nichols, Waldbaum, Cobb. Then it's Christoph, Heitkotter, Underwood, Zhang, and Allman. The rest of your top 5. Have a look. The weather before, over 100 degrees. Same for the second race. A bit more cloud cover in the horizon for this one at least. Driver I'm watching in this is going to be Murphy Nichols. He shot out of the cannon to start the race in race 1, but just sort of fell back into the clutches of the others. I think with a row 2 start, he'll be in a pretty good spot to take that lead away. Jackson Robillard, though, will be hard to chase down. Austin Cobb, though, with the pace that he had, is going to be pretty hard to beat. Just think about DJ Alessandrini starting 18th. I think he's too far back to contend for the win, but he could certainly shake things up inside the top 5 as we get rolling for our pace lap. Race number 2 of the GT4 battle before our intermission and our GT3 event a little bit later tonight. Time to go racing in the second race of the evening. Tony Chow on pole in the number 68. Green flag flies. We're racing at Mid-Ohio. Great start by Jackson Robillard. They're going to drag race to turn number 1. The 98, the blue and white car on the outside lane. Chow on the inside in the black and red. Robillard's going to lead the way as they come out of turn 1. Big slide for the moment on cold tires. The 22 has a big slide as well. That's Heitkotter. Now they're 3 wide. That's the 13, or the 05 rather, of Murphy Nichols' car spun in the background. But it's Chow that beats Robillard to turn 2 at the keyhole. Robillard muscles his way past Matt Waldbaum. He kind of shuffles him wide. Nichols hangs on to 3rd for now. Austin Cobb up trying to grab 4th place away from Waldbaum as they head down the back straightaway. Braking zone. Here comes Cobb. Can he dive on the brakes? Not enough to take the lead. Robillard closes in, grabs the door. At least he jams the foot in it, but doesn't get it open. They touch. Robillard goes swinging wide. Here comes Cobb, the middle 3 wide for the moment. 3 Porsches wide. Chow runs wide. Here comes Nichols up the outside lane. He wants to grab the spot away in the McLaren as they battle through and under the Honda bridge. Door to door for the race lead. Tony Chow and Murphy Nichols. Then Jackson Robillard watching from behind. He's going to get door to door contact and spin right in front of the field. Waldbaum and Austin Cobb miss it, but Robillard is out. So Chow out front in a frantic lap 1. Murphy Nichols to 2nd. Then it's Brian Heitkotter up to 3rd place. He started this race in 7th, so +4 for the number 22. Let's see what kind of pace he'll have as we start our 2nd lap of the race. That was a heck of a way to start. Now into the braking zone. Oh no, Murphy Nichols slides. Highcutter tags him. Here comes Cobb through the middle. And bring Jarrett Allman into the mix. He started in 10th, up to 5th place for him. So everybody scatters. Battle's happening behind Highcutter with the checkup for Murphy Nichols spinning. There's a 23 on the outside. That's Ryan Carwile. Where did he start? Have a look back all the way in 11th. He's up 6 spots into 5th. Battling the 22 of Highcutter. But it's Chow, Waldbaum, Cobb, the top 3. And it's a hornet's nest heading down the back straightaway into China Beach. There's Peter Zhang in the 28. That's the BMW, the blue and black turn-in concepts car. Alex Ho watching from the 84. Nowhere to go, track is blocked. Well, look at Peter Zhang, just apex turn 6 beautifully, slots himself in front of Jeff Underwood in the number 19. Moves Zhang up a spot. And it is a Porsche convention with a BMW crashing right in the middle. Now Matt Waldbaum has Austin Cobb to deal with as we head towards the final corner and the carousel. The 36 Apex V2R car had an easy victory in the first race of the day, but now with the invert putting him back to 5th, he's got to work for it. Up to 3rd from his 5th starting spot. And if he could get to 2nd, it would just be a matter of running down Tony Chow. Great run at the exit of the first corner. He's going to chase Waldbaum over to driver's left. And he will not yet have a look unless Waldbaum overshoots the corner, which he does not. Both of these drivers have experience at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Now the chase down the backstretch, all happening 1.6 seconds behind Tony Chow. Waldbaum goes over left to cover. Austin Cobb not forcing the issue just yet. Joseph Dale hits pit lane, trouble for him. Behind Alex Ho at a big dive on the inside of Jeff Underwood. They're going to get alongside here through turn 5 or 4 and 5, I should say. Whoa, trouble. Tony Chow, the race leader. He's spun in turn 9. All on his own. He's out front and just took too much speed into turn. Oh, he's just going to run wide up onto the grass. So easy to do that there with the car loaded up. Spins the car around. That will turn the lead over to Matt Waldbaum and now effectively make this battle between Waldbaum and Cobb for the lead. Highcutter re-inherits 3rd place, 4 seconds back. But with now 4 laps to go, the battle is only half a car length. Two Porsches out front, a 3rd running 4 seconds back, Brian Highcutter. In 3rd, Cobb 2nd, Matt Waldbaum in 1st. Sailing down the backstretch, Austin Cobb, again, will be competing in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup for the first time next week. It is Mazda Miata at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Matt Waldbaum, currently an autocrosser in the Chicago region. Brian Highcutter, GLTC competitor and weekend winner from PPIR. It is a stout front 3 as the battle continues down the hill and under the Honda Bridge. Cobb is right there, putting enough pressure on Matt Waldbaum to build diamonds out of the carbon fiber bodywork. Tit for tat as they come over the crest at turn 9 and through Thunder Valley. It's only a matter of time, I think, with Cobb right here putting pressure on the tailpipes of that number 13. This time 3 laps to go. A great run for Cobb off the corner. But not enough to quite get alongside that number 13 out front. Similar liveries on the cars as well. And here comes that run, I think. It's going to be on the run up to the keyhole. Here comes Cobb in the slipstream. Going to look left. Waldbaum goes left, Cobb looks right. Here's the dive on the brakes. Here he comes for the lead. Austin Cobb deep into the keyhole. He slides wide. Waldbaum jumps on the binders. Gives a spot up, going to try to cross over and run him back on the back straight. He's going to get that run. Is he going to be able to do anything with it? He bobbles on the grass. No, he'll have to settle for 2nd for now. On the brakes into the fourth corner. Oh, Cobb a little bit wide. Got the tires up on the grass. That's going to leave him susceptible to an over-under here from Waldbaum, but he didn't set it up just right. Now he kind of boxed himself. Passing happening behind them. Alex Ho, Jeff Underwood. They've been going at it for a couple laps. Add Alex Artea into the mix in the M4. Here's his run. He gets kind of bottled up by the 19 there at the exit of turn 6. We haven't really seen a lot from Artea. He came from 22nd up to 8th. Out front, coming to 2 laps to go, Austin Cobb from 5th to 1st, and not looking back now that he's disposed of Matt Waldbaum. Third place battle, Brian Heitkotter. You'll notice the damage on the nose of this car. Get a better look at it here as it comes through turn number 1. You see all the damage on the nose. That is from Murphy Nichols spinning out in turn number 1. Ryan Carwile was able to close the gap to Heitkotter. It is now 0.8 of a second. Just behind them, though, Peter Zhang and Alex Ho. BMW versus Porsche. Great run for Ho at the exit of turn 1. And now it's nose to nose off into turn number 2. Ooh, runs a little wide, does Underwood and Artea, but for 5th spot, Peter Zhang goes defensive on Alex Ho. Mirror to mirror. Wow, look at Ho get on the brakes a lot later than Zhang there into turn 4. Slings around the inside. He will take 5th spot away. Here comes Underwood into the mix now, the 19. Alex Artea following from behind. Ryan Christoph a 2.5 back. He wants to get into the party going on here for 5th. Oh, Peter Zhang all out of shape coming up over the crest. Leaves him under fire from Underwood as they crest the hill of 9. Final lap, white flag waving for the front runners this time through. White flag. Austin Cobb leads the way, second over Waldbaum. Then it's Heitkotter and Carwile, just car lengths apart. And then this battle for 6th, Peter Zhang, Jeff Underwood, Alex Artea, Ryan Christoph, all for 6th place. Artea runs out onto the edge of the curbing. Here comes, I think that's just out of line. That was Underwood that went for a big moment. Whoa, trouble, contact down in turn 2. Zhang turns left. They make fender to fender contact and they will continue. Out front, no changes here. Artea has had enough damage to write that car off. He went off bigger in turn 2 and likely did what I would consider terminal damage to that car. Oh, Cobb right on the edge of control there. You can hear the tires working overtime to keep that Porsche stuck to the racetrack. Moving through turn 10, 11, and 12, and then into 13, the final corner, the left-hand kink, and he will be 2 for 2. And Austin Cobb acing the test here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He comes out at turn 13 and wins both the GT4 races here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Waldbaum second and Brian Heitkotter, as he knew how to do at PPIR last weekend, on podium here in the GRIDLIFE iRacers series. Ryan Carwile 4th, Alex Ho 5th, and it's Zhang Underwood to the line, nose to tail. Christoph in 8th, then Allman and Taggart the rest of the top 10. Here's a look at your race results. This time, Cobb again. Waldbaum, Heitkotter, 2nd and 3rd. No mention of DJ Alessandrini. He was out early. Ryan Carwile, 4th. Alex Ho, 5th. And notable drivers out in the early stages. Murphy Nichols, Jackson Robillard, David Santel, and DJ Alessandrini, all with troubles in this 10-minute race. The next race coming up in just a little time is going to be GT3 cars. They'll be coming up in just a couple of minutes, towards the bottom of the hour from my understanding. So it'll be a short intermission. Stay tuned for GRIDLIFE iRacers GT3 battle from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I'm Kyle Heyer. We'll be back with you at the bottom of the hour. back live here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for GRIDLIFE iRacers GT3 action. My name's Kyle Hire, joining you for the last two races of tonight, 2 10-minute races just as we had before. This time, though, with GT3 machinery instead of GT4. We're going to up the horsepower, up the downforce, up the risk, up everything here for the last 2 races of the night. We've got just over 24 drivers joining us for tonight's 2 races. Back to back in just a moment's time here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Let's have a look at this wonderful racetrack in Lexington, Ohio, 2.26 miles. It all starts with a run down the front straightaway towards a fast left-hander, and these cars using all the downforce in the top of 4th gear. Then climb the hill up towards the keyhole. That's turn number 2. 180 degrees around the corner, then a 2,900-foot long straightaway with a big kink in the middle, hugged tight to the cones before you head into the harsh braking zone for turn number 4. Once you're on the binders and on the ABS, through turns 4 and 5, negotiate around China Beach, then down the hill over the crest to turn 6, 7, and 8, before cresting turn 9, heading into Thunder Valley. Turns 10, 11, and 12 will take you up to the carousel. Turn 13 takes you out of it, and that will complete a lap here from Mid-Ohio. Weather is beautiful in the virtual Lexington, Ohio here today. Have a look. 79 in the air, 103 on the racetrack. A little bit toasty, in fact. Again, as we mentioned earlier, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course built in 1962. Population of Lexington, just about 5,000 people. And, of course, this racetrack, well known for its very slick racing surface when it's raining. No rain here today, at least not in iRacing. 24 drivers here getting ready to qualify. Just finishing up practice here. Here's a quick look at the practice times. Put DJ Alessandrini on the top of the board. A 1:21.39. Austin Cobb, who is the winner of both of the GT4 races a little bit earlier tonight. Matt Waldbaum in 3rd. David Schwartz in 4th. And Murphy Nichols, Ryan Christoph, Dave Santel, Alex Ho, Marc Antoine Blaze, and Brian Borky running out the rest of the top 10. Other notables in here. Jackson Robillard in 12th. Alex Artea down at 16th. Peter Zhang, Josh Halka, Drew Cleaver, all GRIDLIFE time attack drivers joining us for some action. We've got Ryan Christoph here in a Lamborghini as well. He will be racing next week at Mid-Ohio in his Honda CRX GRIDLIFE Touring Cup car. If you'd like to watch GRIDLIFE Touring Cup live, you can watch that from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course next Friday and Saturday, August 6th and 7th. And we'll join you there live on location. Time to qualify now. 5 minutes. You get a couple laps to go quick. Here we go. Out on the racetrack first is going to be Ryan Christoph at the number 46. Here he goes now with a bright teal livery on this car. Each driver will run as many laps as they can in 5 minutes, all by themselves. So no traffic to contend with, at least not in qualifying. In the race, you'll have a different story to tell. But Christoph now accelerates out of turn 2 and up onto the back straightaway. Watch the speed climb on the bottom right of the screen. Well over 145 to 150 miles an hour before we head off into the braking zone. This, of course, is the Lamborghini Huracan Gt3 Evo variant. Several of the GT3 cars have received what they consider evolution upgrades, which can be changes to bodywork and aero, but usually it's more in the form of electronics, stability control, traction control, ABS, optimizations, and new technology there. Of course, iRacing's Huracan is the Evo variant. There are also the Mercedes AMG. They have an Evo variant not represented here in iRacing. Here is the brand new Bmw M4 Gt3 car. M4? M3. M4. Can't remember which M car this is. But that is the Alex Artea machine, the number 16. Peter Zhang also in the BMWs. Josh Halka in the BMW as well. David Schwartz in the Mercedes, the FCP Euro Mercedes, in fact. Of course, FCP Euro, big supporters of GRIDLIFE, one of our major sponsors for the 2021 season. Of course, every part you buy, guaranteed for life. European parts distributor located out of the Northeast. And we love the FCP Euro guys, and we're glad to have them at Alpine Horizon last weekend at Pikes Peak International Raceway in Fountain, Colorado. Hope to see them back in full force at the GRIDLIFE Midwest Festival towards the end of the year. But Schwartz right now in the FCP Euro Mercedes, running in at the exit of turn 2. No one has set down a lap time yet. There is Nick Babin in a Ferrari 488 GT3. Now this car turbocharged V8. Doesn't make a whole lot of noise, but it does make a whole lot of speed, so we'll keep our eye on him. Jackson Robillard is in the Porsche, the brand new Porsche 911 GT3R. This is a spectacular racing machine. Makes some great sounds out the tailpipes. And Jackson will be piloting that car in the number 98 Robillard Racing livery. Murphy Nichols going to be in the original GT3 car here in iRacing. That is McLaren MP4 12C. Has since been succeeded by the 720S that now competes in global competition with and here in America in World Challenge with the Inception Racing team. Austin Cobb, the winner from our GT4 challenges earlier tonight, also in the Porsche. And DJ Alessandrini, ever present here in iRacing. Not yet on the racetrack. Will be starting from the tail, from what I understand. Matthew Mordhart is out on the racetrack as well, also in the Porsche. Drew Cleaver is in the BMW, so pretty good distribution. I have not seen any Audis on track just yet. Joseph Dale is in another Mercedes, but most of the cars, Lamborghinis, BMWs, or Porsches from early studies. There's Alex Ho. That is a beautiful livery on the 84. Great colors on that, the teal, metallic teal. Marc-Antoine Blaise. Oh, look at this. Red Bull Racing colors. That is a gorgeous finish on that Porsche. Fantastic looking racing machine. Across the line for Marc-Antoine Blaise, does a 122.357, puts him fourth quick behind provisional pole sitter Austin Cobb with a 121.33, a 121.82 for Matt Walbaum. Murphy Nichols, again, impressive qualifying effort. He goes third quick. Here's Josh Halka finishing up his lap. Brian Borky on the backstretch. I'm not sure that he will get a chance to finish his lap. Peter Zhang just beginning one, ran a 124.333 the last time around. Not going to be sufficient to put him anywhere on the board. So just about 24, 25 drivers for our GT3 rounds. Again, 2 10-minute races back-to-back with a 5-driver invert from one to the next. On board now with Peter Zhang. This BMW GT3 car, brand new, has not yet hit racetracks across the world. Has received some updates. It is a very competitive car. That's why we see a handful of people already driving it. And with the checkered flag out, that's going to do it for qualifying. Austin Cobb is on pole, as he was for the first race in the GT4 race earlier tonight, before he ended up winning that and starting 5th in the second and final event of the evening. We're going to head down to the racetrack and get qualifying underway. Here is a look at your starting lineup. It's going to start on the left-hand side of your screen. Austin Cobb in the 36 starts first, and it's Matt Walbaum who is going to start alongside him. Murphy Nichols, Marc-Antoine Blaise, David Schwartz, the rest of the top 5. Be back with you in a moment. Have a look at your starting lineup. Really impressed with the qualifying effort from Murphy Nichols tonight. The consistency has been the issue for the 7 this evening. Was running up inside the top 5 before losing control of his car in the second GT4 race, and that ultimately put him down the order and was not able to get the finish that he deserved based on his pace. So, as I mentioned before, the weather is a pretty nice 79 degrees. Track temp's a little bit warm, but the downforce and tire grip should make up for it, especially in the slow corners. A 24-car field with just 2 drivers left to join. Now they're off. Rolling towards the start for 10 minutes time. Here Here we go. GRIDLIFE iRacers GT3 action this time. It all begins now. Green flag flies. GRIDLIFE iRacers GT3 battle is green from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Austin Cobb leads the way down towards turn number 1. Matt Waldbaum shuffles into second. Marc-Antoine Blaise to third. Catches Murphy Nichols off guard as we head through the first corner. So far, so good. No major dramas like we saw in the GT4 race. Couple cones go flying. No harm, no foul, no family to worry about with the cones. Cobb out in front, at least early in the early going. Whoop, car spinning behind him. That was David Schwartz in the FCP Euro car. He's gone around for a loop. Here's how he found himself that way. Tangled hard with one of the BMWs. Let's go back and see again how that formulated. 71, I think that's Ryan Carwile. Yes, indeed. And they just have it coming together in the braking zone. Oh, big hit. Goes over the top of one of the other BMWs. I think that was Dave Santel. And meanwhile, into China Beach. Austin Cobb leads the way. Waldbaum behind. Marc-Antoine Blaise. Murphy Nichols, Kevin Zhu, the top 5 Zhu in the Lamborghini, running in P5. And yes, as he mentioned that Murphy Nichols just got his driver's license in the real world and it gets to celebrate that freedom safely on the road, but here in the iRacing simulator, he's had his license for a while and he's been making good use of it. Now on the battle with Marc-Antoine Blaise, here he comes. Murphy Nichols up the inside. Not quite enough overlap to make a pass. No, he goes for it. Down to third place, up to third place I should say, and through to the position. Marc-Antoine Blaise gets bottled up on corner exit. Right behind him is the 23 of Kevin Zhu. Mclaren, Porsche, Lamborghini, the beauties of GT3 racing. Flamethrower out the tailpipes of the Mclaren. Runs a little wide though. And Marc-Antoine Blaise tries to fill the gap but unable to do so. So move Murphy Nichols up to third. As out front, it's still all Austin Cobb in the 36. Matt Waldbaum in the 10 behind him. Then it's going to be Murphy Nichols, Marc-Antoine Blaise, Kevin Zhu running out the rest of your top 5. Trouble spot for Murphy Nichols is getting down here into turn 4 a little bit too hot. Gathers it up nicely. Avoids China Beach this time. Someone else does not. That was Drew Cleaver, Nick Babbitt, Alex Ho. Who was that off in the gravel? I didn't quite catch. Someone went for a ride. On board now with Kevin Zhu as he chases the number 3 Porsche. Big difference between these two cars, of course, in the 911 GT3R, the well-known drivetrain layout difference with the engine in the Porsche behind the rear axle, basically as far forward it will go without being a mid-engine car. And that Porsche platform over the decades of sports car racing has found much success not only in global competition, but here in North America as well. The Carrera Cup spawning its own series, running under the IMSA banner this year. But one of the most balanced race cars, specifically in the rain with all the weight over the rear tires. It is just shoots up out of corners like nothing else on the racetrack. It is a spectacular racing machine. And also with the flat 6 screaming behind you, it is a glorious soundtrack to go with it as well. And pay no mind to the other naturally aspirated car behind it. That is the Lamborghini, the Audi-sourced V10. Screaming under the middle portion of that car right behind the driver. Of course, no Audis in this race. If there was, they share a lot of underbody components, underpinnings, mostly just bodywork and electronics differences, and Zhu overcooks it into 9 and backs it off the racetrack. He's going to be stuck here until the entire field goes by. That was a painful one to watch. Brian Borky in Mercedes bobbles for a moment. Thundering V8 underfoot as he climbs the hill towards the carousel. That's DJ Alessandrini in front of him in the Lamborghini. Then Nick Babbitt, whoa, dive up the inside. Alessandrini gets tagged by Borky, and Borky borked it. And Alessandrini's going to drop down the order. It's a frustrating way to end that battle. Remember, a 5-driver invert at the end of this race. There's a 98 car at Jackson Robillard. He found himself off course as well. I did not see how he found himself there, so let's go back and take a look. He was behind Kevin Zhu. You see some damage to the nose of that 98. He's just going to run himself off the racetrack. Easy to do. Right past, he stopped and disabled DJ Alessandrini. So that was a big moment for the 98 as well. up front, Cobb in the 36 continues to be the quickest in the GT categories tonight. Waldbaum chasing him down in the Porsche in second. Liqui on the side of that car. Good looking livery, if I should say so. Murphy Nichols in the Momo livery. Again, Momo, GRIDLIFE's official safety partner for the 2021 season. What a livery that is. The very famous sort of cherry red, kind of caution tape yellow that has adorned the sides of Momo liveried cars for decades on end in sports car racing. Marc-Antoine Blaise in the Red Bull colors, reminiscent, I should say, of the Red Bull Formula One team, of which there was so much drama surrounding the British GP a couple weeks ago. Alex Artey, and again, a GRIDLIFE time attack competitor in a BMW. Here he is in the Not Fast Motorsports Bmw Gt3 as he chases down fourth place. Matthew Morthart right behind in the Porsche. Peter Zhang and Brian Borky battling for 15th place. Borky in the Mercedes. And DJ Alessandrini right behind in the Lamborghini, trying to recover the positions that he lost after contact from Borky a lap ago. Into turn 4 now. Zhang takes a hard right, opens the door for Alessandrini, who's going to tuck on in and follow through that of Borky in the Mercedes. Now side by side through turn number 6, Alessandrini uses all the racetrack and muscles his way by and sets his sights on the teal and black Mercedes just up the road, who now is putting pressure on a similar body car, that being Joseph Dale. Easy to spot this car with all the stripes on it. Here comes Borky. Up the inside, late into the carousel. Alessandrini is going to go the long way around, and Borky's going to back out of it, let him go through. DJ up to 15th. Smoke behind, a car off track. I think that was Jackson Robillard. Let's go back and see that formula. This will be the second time that he has been off course tonight. This time he was battling, I think, with Peter Zhang on the run down to turn 1. Oh, he just gets in there a little too hot, loops the car, turns it around backwards, and that'll be the end of Robillard's competition, at least in the first of the 2 races we have here. Coming to the white flag. Bobble for Morthart. He's going to go off and hit the barriers hard in turn 9. So easy to do that. Let's ride on board and just watch how quickly things can get out of hand here. One bobble there and it's game over. You do not get the benefit of gathering a car up on paved runoff. White flag is out for Austin Cobb. Knocks a couple cones off course. No big deal. Evan Zhu off course in the carousel, just drops the tire off as Nick Babin feels pressure from Ryan Christoph in the number 46 Lamborghini, who started 11th, and he has stayed 11th for the majority of the race. Moving back forward up to 4th place, Marc-Antoine Blaise in the 3. Has had Alex Artey kind of running him down. The gap is now under half a second. And I really think you got to be essentially to the driver, if not alongside them, by turn 4 to have a realistic opportunity. And like that, like clockwork, here's Peter Zhang and Joseph Dale in a drag race down the 2,900-foot-long backstretch. There's Zhang. Dale is on the outside as they head down to turn number 4. Usually just enough room for each other as they head into the braking zone. I think Zhang's in too deep. He's going to overshoot. Joseph Dale crossover, beautiful move there for Dale. He's through. Austin Cobb, checkered flag, as he did in the GT4 race earlier. He'll pick up a win, at least in race 1. Waldbaum 2nd, then Murphy Nichols comes through for a podium in the Momo-sponsored Mclaren MP4 12C. Nicely done for Murphy Nichols. 3rd to 3rd, Marc-Antoine Blaise, Alex Artey round out the rest of the top 5. A couple shufflings here and there, but for the most part, standard affair at the front of the field. Some carnage throughout. But race one is complete here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Let's have a quick look at our race results. For race one, here's a look. Austin Cobb gets it done. Matt Waldbaum, Murphy Nichols, Blaise Arteat, then Santel, Cleaver, Underwood, Ho, and Christoph round out the rest of the top 10. Nick Babin, Kevin Zhu, and Alessandrini survives for a 13th in front of Brian Borky, Peter Zhang, Joseph Dale, and Josh Halka. The rest of the lead lap runners. Everyone else a lap down or more. Time for race number 2. With a 5-driver invert that will put Alex Arteat on pole. Austin Cobb, who won the race, will start in 5th. Here's a look. Starting lineup on the left-hand side of the screen. There's Arteat in the number 16. He will start on pole alongside the Red Bull Porsche of Marc Antoine. Blaise Murphy Nichols will start where he did in race 1 in 3rd place. And Matt Waldbaum in the BMG Mori Porsche, he will start 4th. And Austin Cobb, as I mentioned, in 5th. Dave Santel, the first driver not to get advantage from the invert, he will roll off in 6th. That is the number 5 car. That's the orange camouflage Lamborghini. Drew Cleaver in the Red Lobster BMW alongside Jeff Underwood in the SimLab BMW. Then a Mercedes and a Lamborghini behind Alex Ho, Ryan Christoph in row 5. Then Nick Babin in the Ferrari alongside Kevin Zhu in the Lamborghini. All Italian row in row number 6 behind them. It's DJ Alessandrini in 13th, Brian Borky in 14th. That's your 7th row. Then Peter Zhang, Joseph Dale, Halka, Morhart, James, Robillard, Allman, Carwile, Schwartz, and Flores round out the rest of your field. Racing from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Race 2, final race of the night. For the GT3 battle here as the green flag waves and Alex Arteat of the BMW takes the field of the GRIDLIFE iRacers to the green. Contact behind, that's Dave Santel in the fence already as we head down to turn number 1. A lot more frantic start. Couple 3 wide. Middle is Kevin Zhu as we roll through the first corner. That's certainly going to be a touch. Don't know how they didn't want them all up there. 3 wide with Waldbaum up the middle. Murphy Nichols on the outside, Cobb on the inside for 2nd place. Right out of the gate, he is wasting no time to move himself up to the front battle as they shuffle around. So Arteat leads Cobb, Waldbaum, Cleaver, Ho, and Murphy Nichols. He gets shuffled to 6th on the opening lap. Schwartz, Zhu, a couple other drivers already out of it in the early moments. They were going to have issues. DJ Alessandrini has also crashed, and that is unfortunate. Let's see what happened to him. He was all on his... Oh, there's a big crash in the background here. Oh, Alessandrini misses his braking point, rear ends one of the Ferraris. That was... Let's see, I don't know who that was. That was that Nick Babin. Yes, it was Babin. Meanwhile, for 2nd place, Waldbaum and Arteat. Somehow Cobb got to the lead. And that's going to shove Waldbaum to 2nd, past Arteat as well. The door was open and Cobb took it while we were on replay. Oh, that's a touch for 2nd. Big jump over the curb for Arteat. And they scatter behind him. Murphy Nichols goes for a spot. 3 wide into turn 1. That is not going to work. Wild moments here. Let's go back and see how that all formulated. Austin Cobb got his way to the lead. How did he do it? Oh, the leader ran wide at the exit of 9, and that's what opened the door. Murphy Nichols under attack from Alex Ho, and look at Ryan Christoph smelling blood in the water. Is he going to push Murphy? Or really go middle? He's going to lift. Braking zone. Murphy Nichols on the outside of the Mclaren. He's going to run a little bit off course. Whoa, big bobble. He gathers it back up. Ryan Christoph looks from behind, and Alex Ho looks from in front through the mirrors, sees that McLaren out the tailpipes. A lot of calamity and carnage in the early moments of this one in the tail of the field. So focusing all up front right now, but it's Cobb who shuffled his way back to the lead almost instantaneously. Headlights flashing on Murphy Nichols. Whoa, big slide from Alex Ho. Car on unstable feet right now. Nichols tries to go the long way around, but opens up the door in the carousel for Christoph, who tastes 5th for a moment. And now it's McLaren versus Lamborghini on the front straightaway, and I think Christoph has the run to make this stick unless Nichols can keep it tight through turn one, which he does. Nice racing there, boys. Lots of clean space around each car. V10 versus V8. The V10 will win. Put Christoph to fifth. Oh, there goes Murphy Nichols. Wow, what a save. That was incredible reaction. That was almost certainly a crash. We've seen that basically take out a handful of cars tonight. Watch this. He's going to get out, just get the left rear tire loaded up on the curbing. Big snap, catches it. What a drive. Keeps his, well, drops back to seventh, but he did keep the car rolling, which is a miracle in its own right. Up front, two Porsches lead the charge. Austin Cobb has been on a mission tonight to basically take home every trophy they're offering. Matt Waldbaum has been runner-up like Chick Hicks here. Coming to 4 laps to go. Within striking distance, half a second, but it's going to require a mistake, I'm sure, from Austin Cobb, of which we have not really seen yet tonight. Murphy Nichols gearing back up to get by BMW in front of him. That's Jeff Underwood in the 19. Oh, he overshoots turn one by a long shot. Both Nichols and Underwood did. Underwood did it worse. Headlights flashing, distraction tactic. And now onto the back straightaway. Ryan Carwile has found his way into the pit box as well for what I can only assume is a fairly major incident. This is heading up towards Keyhole. Oh, just outbrakes himself, goes straight off and ends up in the tire wall. That is a real shame. Murphy Nichols just muscled his way by Underwood as well as Cleaver. So give Murphy Nichols 6th spot back. And here is how that happened. This is down into turn 4. So Underwood drive the car in a little bit too hot, gives up a spot. Drew Cleaver goes around. Cobb, 3 laps to go for what would be a perfect Porsche performance tonight after his 2 consecutive wins in the GT4 category. And what would be 2 wins in the GT3 category. He has been on it tonight. See the brake rotors glowing. Matt Waldbaum trying to keep up, but has continued to fall behind consistently lap after lap. Battle back to Nichols again in the number 7. He's back to Christoph in the 46. Coming to 2 laps to go for Austin Cobb. Some traffic to contend with that shouldn't be much of an issue. It hasn't posed much of one yet tonight. A little bit off course there for a moment. Had a bit of a bobble. And Murphy Nichols has, his luck has run out tonight. Chasing Christoph. Got into the carousel a little too hot, charged the corner, and looped it around. That will be it for him for tonight, unfortunately. No other battles formed up on the racetrack at the moment. But now Austin Cobb has some traffic to contend with, and they will pull over, and Cobb will slide on through. No dramas there for the Apex V2R Porsche 911 GT3R. expertly navigating the backside of the course and heading towards the carousel for the penultimate time. Out the windshield, white flag is waving for Austin Cobb, the final timer on Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course tonight. Next week, he is going to race in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup in his Mazda Miata. Tonight was good practice if he expects to win. Duncan James, oh, there was an Audi out here tonight in the number 75. Unfortunately, he has found it in need of body work. Here's a look. Just steps out on him. And, oh, didn't quite nose it into the wall. Good-looking car, that Alliance Racing Audi at the moment. But going back to Austin Cobb, his GRIDLIFE Touring Cup career begins next Friday. And he will take to the racetrack for the first time in GLTC competition. But tonight he has put on a clinic in the sim racing world with the Apex V2R colors on board. Matt Waldbaum in second, Alex Arteat, Alex Ho, Ryan Christoph, third, fourth, and fifth. And heading into the final corner of the carousel, turn 13, Austin Cobb will sweep the night. He is going to be 4 for 4 at Mid-Ohio. Congratulations, Austin Cobb, winner. GT3 battle from Mid-Ohio. He gets it done. Matt Waldbaum in second, Alex Arteat, Alex Ho, Ryan Christoph will be the rest of the top 5. And only 12 drivers are going to complete this race, only 10 of them on the lead lap. This was a challenging one for the finishers of this race. Here's a look at the race results. Let's kick it off with the first page. Austin Cobb, Matt Waldbaum, Alex Arteat, Alex Ho, Ryan Christoph, who are top 5. Then Drew Cleaver, Jeff Underwood, Jared Allman, Aldo Flores, and Duncan James, the rest of the top 10. Peter Zhang, Halka, Murphy Nichols comes home 13th, again not getting the finish that he probably deserved. Jackson Robillard crashed out early in the number 98. DJ Alessandrini the same. Kevin Zhu in 19th. Marc Antoine Blaze in 20th. There is the list of drivers that have competed tonight. Thanks for joining me here on Sim TV for this fun broadcast. Just did it for fun this evening. No backup commentary, just here to show the action. If you'd like to join the GRIDLIFE iRacers League, make sure you request to join the league on iRacing and join the GRIDLIFE iRacers Facebook page. Make sure you tune in for GRIDLIFE Live for GRIDLIFE Midsummer Meet next Friday morning, youtube.com/GRIDLIFE. We'll see you there. I'm Kyle Heyer. See you next time on Sim TV.